2:22, my friends. What's up? First, who is this for? If you are an intuitive, a healer, a creative, you feel like you've been spinning your wheels, this is the free introduction to Sacred Pole, the Keys of Metatron. If you're not familiar with the Metatron's cube, that's what it is, right there. Wait for a couple more people to jump on. I like to start my morning off, and you can use this tool. Thank you to the 7 directions: the east, the south, the west, the north, all the angels, the guides, the ancestors, our guardians, Father Sky, Mother Earth, and the soul that resides within our hearts. The brave souls that choose to navigate this earth, the noble people that are actually here doing the work, assisting others, fellow light workers, healers, coaches, creators. This message today is for y'all. To give you an idea of what I'm going to cover today, if you didn't catch my live about the ocean and the river, I got a river right here. Made an ocean and a river just for this. So if you didn't catch that, go to the other live from Tuesday. Tuesday, the 2nd day of the week. Thursday, the 4th day of the week. That will become more significant here in a little bit. I wanted to go over who this is for. Then we're going to talk about why now. So why, if I have been holding on to this tool for 13 years, why am I sharing this now? I'll get to that. I'll answer that question in a bit. Then I'm going to tell you a little bit about the origin story, Metatron. I'll go into 4 keys, so we'll actually get a tool today. I'll give you guys 4 of the 14 keys, things that may just activate you today. They may give you some answers, some direction, open some doors. Maybe you already have the other 10 keys and you're just missing 4. Let's hope it's these 4. Let's hope you can take that and just run. I'm all about freeing fellow souls. Then I will go into some of the details of the group that I have launching here, end of June, beginning of July. I'm going to talk about why this even works. Why would this work? The beauty of it, the impeccability, the elegance of it. We're going to talk about that. And then I'll give you guys some instructions, links, and a promo code. So let's see if I can see any comments here. Oh, hi, Robin. Hi, Aura. Oh, damn, Aura, Robin. You guys are in my story, so I'm really glad you're here. If anybody's watching the recorded version of this later, you can kind of fast forward to the tools. And I'll be dropping links to tickets and videos and all kinds of stuff in the comments after this is done. So thank you, fellow souls. What up, SB? What up, homie? I'm so glad I actually remembered to bring my phone this time. Okay. So if you are an intuitive and you have an unrealized dream, you've got this burning desire to manifest your purpose, and you make it some days, you make progress other days, and then some days you fall back, and then you get up, and then you get tired, and then you get re-inspired, and you just want some traction, this is for you. If you've literally just felt stuck, this is for you. If you've been pushing and pushing and pushing, and you've been spinning your wheels, this is for you. If you have passion and desire and hope, but no direction, this is for you. Maybe you've just been crushing it for a long time, you've plateaued, and now you're looking for the next level. This is for you. Or maybe you're already in an upswing and you just want to keep going up. You don't want to go repeat any patterns. This is for you. That is reminds me of when I went into impact trainings back in 2010. I wasn't lost or broken. I was in one of the best places I'd ever been in my entire life. My job was working, my relationships working. I was a year clean off of alcohol and drugs. And I knew from having already recovered from my life exploding twice in a shamanic initiatory crisis that I didn't want to repeat that. So that's why I went to impact training. But I also did have an abundance block. And I couldn't figure out where it was. So I was doing all the right things, but there was something there. So it was almost like I was in the dark and there was an obstacle. I couldn't quite figure out what it was. So there's like two main reasons. I went in there, I got a lot more than I asked for. And it was actually a key turning point in my life. But it led to my spiritual awakening in the middle of the night, not in training, but in the middle of the night. And I'll touch on that here in a bit. But yeah, I was not stuck. I was in an upswing and I just knew I wanted to keep going up. I wanted to keep reaching into new dimensions, going into new places. So I want to speak to everybody in that space. All the creators, intuitives, healers, we're all in different places. None of them are wrong. Side note, the butterfly never curses itself for being the caterpillar. That's part of the transformation process. The caterpillar does the work, they consume the information, they travel, they drive, they go to new lands, and when they've consumed enough, they go into this cocoon phase. And then eventually comes the transformation. So at no point does the butterfly be like, oh crap, I can't believe I was a caterpillar at one point. So then what happens? Butterfly lays eggs, larva, caterpillar, life cycle, starts all over again. So I share that just so I know I beat myself up sometimes. I'm not exactly where I want to be all the time in every area of my life. And I got to remember that it's okay to be the butterfly. It's okay to be a cocoon right now and just be in gestation. It's okay to be a butterfly. Sometimes we go into butterfly phase and people are like, no, you're out of our comfort zone. And you're like, yo, I got to fly. So it's okay to love and accept yourself in any phase. Okay. So why now? Let's get into why now. Well, let me share my screen with you guys really quick. Beep, boop, beep, doop, pop. Everybody loves a good origin story. Everybody loves a good origin story. So I'm going to zoom in here. Cosmic Warrior. Shout out to Aura Barlow for throwing this event together. Thank you. This was, man, I did not know what I was getting myself into when I agreed to this baby. 4 months ago, Aura and I spoke. She's like, we're doing Cosmic Warriors out here in Hilldale, Utah. I was like, I'm down. And dude, escape, bro, escape. So I agree. But the agreement was that I was going to do Sacred Geometry 101. And if any of you have been to my 101 class, it's lots of codes and shapes, and it's just the family tree. It's all the symbols. It's a 2-hour class, 1 hour if I trim it and don't answer any questions. So I wake up the Friday morning, so Thursday night, Friday morning, before I'm supposed to be there, best event ever. I go to bed at 11 p.m. I'm in bed at 8, but I don't fall asleep till 11. I wake up at 1:30 and I'm just sitting in the dark. And I know not to get frustrated. You know, it's actually the stress of thinking we're losing sleep is actually worse for you than just losing sleep. So I'm sitting in the dark, no phone. And I'm just thinking, guys, what do you want from me? And I start going through the downloads. I start going through the downloads and they're saying, this is what you can do in a 30-minute time. Tell your Metatron origin story and share this tool, share the Keys of Metatron. I have never taught this publicly. I've touched on it a couple times in my 101 class, but I have never gone full send. So I drive. Also, my car broke down. So now I have to borrow a car. And Aura was nice enough, and her husband were nice enough to let me borrow their vehicle. And for those of you who know me, my life path number is 11 and my soul path number is 14. So what's on the license plate? It's a 14. So I'm already in a good space. I know I have a good sign here to start. And we got a sweet little 4 right here. So that's synchronicity number 1. Number 2, I'm talking to my buddy Chad. I meant to leave at noon that day, and then it was 2, and then it was 4:44. So I left at 4:44. So that's synchronicity. That's a synchronicity. And even though I had some troubles with the car, it took me 7 hours to do a 4.5-hour drive. I just kept, moving forward, plugging away. I stopped to go get food. It's 11:42, 11 and 14, and 2 is my birth number. I didn't think of that till now. I map out how far I am to where I got to go. It's 1 hour and 14 minutes. I look at the road from Cedar to Hurricane to Hilldale, 59. 5 plus 9 is 14. I roll into Tokerville, and how much is the gas? $4.44 or 4. I mean, even if you're a hardcore left brain, you got to tell me, even if you don't believe in any woo-woo stuff, the chances of all these synchronicities coming together is like astronomical, right? And then I get my vendor permit, and what is the first 2 numbers? What are the first 2 numbers? 14. And then what is the license plate of the trailer say when we get to the event? It's literally got my name on it. Sorry if this, I'm gonna delete that so not everybody can see this license plate anymore. So it's literally got my name on it. It's got the 4. It says Om at the end, and for all I know, the M is for Metatron. So I get to this event. I'm completely unprepared. I'm super underslept. I've never presented this in my life, but it's Father's Day weekend. So the sacred masculine speaking to me. It was my father's birthday, who we lost to cancer back in 2013. And there's a whole other story to that. But my dad and I, basically, we were like mortal enemies for most of my life. And then we made up a week before he passed away. He's shown up to me in a couple of my medicine journeys. We forgave each other. We forgave each other in the journey, and he's been on my team ever since. So he's been this like guiding principle. Okay, so even though we've had this sordid relationship, once I got into a space of forgiveness with my dad, it was almost like all these gifts were coming through by healing. The familiar and ancestral healing between me and my father. It opened up all these gifts. Well, I present this class. The way I described it, some people said you seemed really prepared, Zoe. And I said, I felt like a drunken baby stumbling through a minefield, but somehow I landed on my feet. Maybe it's because I've been doing this for a long time. Maybe I do better off balance. I don't know. But I got a really good response. I asked everybody for their emails afterwards, and everybody was engaged and fascinated enough to send them to me. So that told me, based on results, that I was on the right track. So there's another sign, if you will. Next morning, SB, her husband, Todd, takes me out 4-wheeling. We get on the road at 11:44, but I missed it by like a half a second when I shot the photo. So there's another 11 and another 14. The next morning, I'm plodding my way back to Salt Lake City. First thing I see is 222. First thing I see when I go through the drive-through to get coffee, 0444. Are you kidding me? There's 2 things I want to take from this story. 1, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, ancestors, for sending me all these signs. 2, if you're like me, sometimes you need 15 confirmations to get it through your skull that it's time to do something, right? I'm an earth sign. We're yeah, we're steadfast, we're grounded, but we could be pretty stubborn. And that's the activation. So Cosmic Warriors Conference, 15 synchronicities that kept going till the next day. They kept going out throughout the next day. And it led me into the space of, I came back from the Cosmic Warriors Conference so illuminated, so activated, that I went straight into, why isn't this my next thing? Why isn't this my next program? What's stopping me? I have all the skills, the tools, I've had the knowledge, I've used this knowledge. So right out of the gate, I shared this same class with my friend Nikki and then Paulista. Boom, boom, boom. They went from, what do I do now? I'm not going to say they were lost. That's not for me to say, but they were definitely looking for some clarity. They went from, what do we do now, to, holy shit. Boom, into the river. So the two people that I shared it with, like, just got moving. And then I'm using this tool every morning, right? River, ocean, river, and then the Keys of Metatron. And I'm moving. And here's the crazy part. No, wait, I'm gonna save that part. That's enough crazy for now. So that is why I waited 13 years, because it wasn't just a matter of me choosing in, it was a matter of being activated. And I shared that with you because I'm sure you guys have felt this way, where you have a burning desire in your heart. You know you have a gift, but maybe it's not time, or maybe you're overdue and you're just thinking, okay, how do I go about this? You know, what are the mechanical steps? What is a clear path that I can take? What is a practical approach? And because we are intuitive and creative, how do I incorporate my spiritual tools? Because oftentimes I go through programs and I learn new spiritual tools, or I learn step-by-step instructions, but I've never learned both. And the Keys of Metatron use and teach both. The keys are very simple. They're mentally aligning. They're based in truth. They're not, none of the keys are woo-woo. They're all very grounded and very rudimentary and practical. It's when we add in the sacred geometry, it's when we add our passion, it's when we connect to our ancestors and our guides and Metatron and our higher self, that we activate and amplify the practical. So the left side of the mind and the right side of the mind, the sacred feminine, sacred masculine, yin and yang, all work together and are all satisfied, and they're all being utilized. That's what's crazy about this. So yes, it took all that to get me out of my shell and share this with everybody. You follow me? Anybody, feel free to share. If you guys have ever gone through anything like this, where you know you've got something burning in you and you're just like, well, now what? Where do I go? Okay, so going back, let's go back to when I got this information in the first place. I'm going to tell you guys the story right now. It is September 23rd, 2010. I was in the second day of Summit, which is the second level at Impact. I'm in my bed, and have you ever had a dream where you wake up, get out of bed, brush your teeth, make breakfast, put on your clothes, walk out the door. And as you begin to walk out the door, you wake up for real, and then you have to do that all over again. So here I am, dead asleep. I think I get to go to the restroom, and I sit up, and here is this crystalline geometric figure floating in my room, just above my bed, between me and the hallway. And immediately I'm frozen. I'm in shock. And I say, hello. And I start getting information, but they're not in words, they're in pictures, and it's not going into my mind, it's going into my bones. There's no easy way to explain that, but that's the clearest description I can give it. And I get this story, and it speaks, and it says, this is the construct of the universe, the physical realm. The circles come from the non-physical realm. The lines are here in the physical. And when energy passes through the non-physical, through this grid, it becomes physical, which if you do research, you can find all the platonic solids inside the Metatron's cube. And those platonic solids also reside in the periodic table of elements. So it goes on to say, before your mind complicates this, your human brain, let's break this down to circles and lines. And it says, everything in your universe can be described in circles and lines. Everything in your universe exists within a circle, exists within a cycle, okay? And everything has a relationship or connection to something else. There's nothing in the universe that is truly alone. Every atom, every light wave, every sound wave, every person, plant, animal, thing somehow is connected to something else. And all of them are constantly turning through this cycle of death and rebirth. He said, you can see it in your seasons, your sun, your moon, the water cycle, death, life, rebirth, karma, repeating history, past lives, the whole thing. He said, the problem with the human mind is that we're taught to see things in a linear fashion. So we think everything has a beginning and an end because that's how our mind needs to encapsulate things, needs to put things in these boxes so it can understand. But it said, but that's not the case. The truth is, all you're doing is leaving one cycle for another. And I'll get deeper into that for a sec, or in a minute. So let's scroll down here for a sec. I said, explain. And he goes, imagine that this circle is a molecule full of atoms, okay? All of these atoms are connected through magnetic force. I said, okay. He says, now zoom out. Let's say these atoms make up a DNA chain. When you look up DNA, you have a circle with a bunch of lines that look like ladders, right? The double helix, if you look at it from the top. I said, okay. He's like, now your DNA makes up a cell. Now pretend this is a cell. And these are all DNA strands within that cell, all right? Now, zoom out. This is now an organ. This is your body, and here are all the organs. And the cells make up the organs. Organs together make up your body. Okay, this is your skin. This one represents your eyes. This is your liver. This is your heart, so on and so forth. I said, okay. He said, now, this is your family. You're the circle in the middle. Now, this is your community. Your family is the circle in the middle. This is your city. This is your state. This is your country. This is your sun and all the planets. This is your galaxy. Goes all the way to the multiverse. And at that point, my head kind of melted. He said, everything is fractal. Everything is a model of or based on a template. Yes, they take different forms, but they all follow the same nature. He said, so this is what's crazy is humans think relationships begin and end. They think things like addiction begins and ends, or problems begin and end. He said, same with blessings. He said, really all you're doing is leaving one cycle for another. So let's say this circle represents a cycle in your life. So as above, so below. The physical and the non-physical realms mirror each other exactly. So the physical realm runs on this program, but so does our non-physical realm, meaning our thoughts, our emotions, our personalities, our behaviors. Haven't you ever wondered why psychology has 4 main personality types? Because there's patterns written into the code of the universe. Why are there 4 elements in astrology? There's 12 signs in astrology. Okay, so even though they call it different things, whether you're talking about science or woo-woo, they all acknowledge that there are these patterns. He said, so our reality can shift as our reality runs in patterns too. So right now, I believe that this is my reality and that I could go back to being an addict whenever I want. That's super easy. I could say, screw this, I'm no longer going to be a shaman. I'm not going to teach. I'm going to just sell my crap and go, on a meth bender in Mexico. There's nothing stopping me from doing that. And my mind can conceive of it pretty well, even though I won't do it. But then if I say, I am going to level up my life. Here's everything I know I deserve. Here's everything I know I want. Here's the life I want for my kids and my family. But that's somewhere down the path. That's way down the path. That's in the future. And he said, that's an illusion. He said, the reality of your highest self and everything you want, everything you deserve, is right here. And the reality of what you don't want is right next to you as well. It's right here. He said, the only difference is you believe one is accessible and one isn't. He said, you believe this one is accessible, this one isn't, because this is in your comfort zone and this one isn't. So the only thing keeping humans from navigating into whatever reality they want at any time is limited belief. He said, but I don't blame you guys, because when you don't have a map, he's like, it all looks like unknown territory. And what are humans afraid of the most? The unknown. He said, but once you have a map, you know how to navigate it, you have the instructions, it's fairly simple. He said, there's a couple rules to this game, but he said, the game is easy. And I said, so we're not stuck. We're not in this cage where we have infinite possibilities and realities all around us at any time. He goes, yeah. He goes, this is just one piece of reality. This symbol you're looking at. He says, if you copy and paste this in every direction, this becomes a tile of an infinite fabric that goes in any direction. But humans can't conceive of that. So you cut them into single pieces. And it might take you a whole lifetime just to understand that one. And there's plenty of information in one. So not only was I shown the construct of the universe, not only was I shown the problem, but then I was given the solution. The solution are the 14 keys. The 14 doors, the 14 keys. What are we doing to move forward? What aren't we doing to move forward? Which keys do we have? Which keys do we not have? And how do we get them all? How do we get all the keys to open all the doors? Once you open the doors, the push becomes a pull, the sacred pull. And by the way, and then I woke up. And then I woke up with this burning, I said, you can't do that. You can't just give somebody keys to an airplane without any further instructions. My only instructions was that I got to teach this. And I even had this objection. I said, have you seen my track record? My whole past has been pure chaos. You understand this, right? And he said, well, we know you'll do it. That's for sure. You're dedicated. All the things you've been through will help you be more empathetic and understanding to other people. We know you're a problem solver. And even if this information goes out to 100 people, we know you'll get it done. You'll get the job done. Little did I know I was going to go into a 13-year crucible or cocoon phase, whatever you want to call it. But that's how it happened. And even with this burning desire to share it, I still had to go into like my logical mind to know what I was messing with. That's when I went into studying sacred geometry. So before this happened, I didn't even know sacred geometry was a subject. I didn't know what the Metatron's cube was. I had to figure this out after. I had to unpack this after, which then led to 5 years of research, which then led to my Sacred Geometry 101, then 202, and then 303 was supposed to be this. This was supposed to come last. But because of this cosmic warrior activation, this is coming now. And it makes sense because it's actually the most practical of all of the lessons. And you don't have to understand how it works. Like, you get how it works now, but if you didn't understand that, it would still work. That's what's awesome. And I've used this process to figure out when I get stuck in any of my projects. So you might want to know, well, what happened after that? Well, what happened after that was the next week, I quit my job as a graphic designer, working for a nutraceutical company, making pretty good money. I began writing my first book, which led to getting my Reiki certification, my attunements, which led to then creating Soulworks Decals, which was my Sacred Geometry company, Sacred Geometry decal company, which are in a bunch of stores here in Salt Lake, in Utah, and Colorado. It then led to Vibe Bottle. It then led to Lucid Earth Education, and here we are. The shift in my reality was real. I never went back. That's how this whole thing came about. Da-da-da-da. The keys. Let's talk about the keys. 14 doors, 14 keys, rules of the game. Find all the keys. It's okay to ask for support. You don't have to do every single one by yourself. You can ask a friend. You can hire somebody. It doesn't all have to fall on you. But you do have to find all the keys. 2, navigate with loving intention. He said, if you try to navigate this map, this game, this board, with fear, you will get stuck in one door or another, one portal. Door and portal, those words are synonymous, right? And this is why we get stuck in things. How many times have we got stuck in the same relationship with different people? But because we didn't know how to respond from a space of love, we kept having that lesson show up over and over again. This explains it. It's not punishment, it's just the nature of the universe. So I'm going to share with you guys 4 that I feel are really relevant. Let's hope these are the ones you're looking for. All right. So number 1, detachment. Usually, hi Robin. Usually when I get a vision, I immediately go into the mechanics of, well, what's this going to take? Who do I have to hire? How long is it going to take? How much energy, money? What's my end goal? What is my investment? And I'm already becoming attached. And I'll tell you from experience, if you've seen that movie Soul, they talk about obsession. Purpose can be soured by obsession. Absolutely. You cannot choke something to death. Attachment chokes the life out of things. Now, can you be connected? Can you have a clear vision? Yes. What's the difference? So I can be connected to my children without being attached. Right? I can let my children grow and I can guide them, but I can't. But as soon as I become attached to them being a certain way, I start to choke the life out of their life. I could be attached in my marriage, but not connected. I could be legally attached to another person, but have no connection with them. Mind-blowing. So connection is okay. Attachment tends to ruin things. And it rules out all the other cool possibilities that can show up along the way, because why? We're so focused on it looking a certain way and the journey being a certain way and not allowing ourselves to go off on different side missions. You know, sometimes they are distractions, don't get me wrong, but sometimes they are part of the journey. And that's what your heart has to tell you every time. Is this Is this part of the journey or is this a distraction? But learning that point A and point B don't have a straight line between them. The path will wind as long as we end up where we want to be or better. That's where being open, right? Being water, being flowing, ocean, river, really, really helps. I hope that alone gives some people some insight. You earth signs out there, just like me. Next, boop, the vision. So I talked about the vision before the detachment, right? So the vision is usually where I fire from the hip. I've learned to get a vision, take 24 hours to digest it. And then if it's still there, the inspiration is still there, then I know to move on it. Without the vision, without the inspired download, without the idea or the goal, whatever that might be, whether the goal is a healed version of yourself or a big house in the hills, that's your vision. It's not for me to say whether it's right or wrong. Whatever that vision is, that's the genesis, that's the catalyst, that's the beginning of the journey. So usually people say, vision, fire away. I say, you get the vision, detach, come back to it, and now move through these steps. Sounds a little counterintuitive, but just trust me, if it's real, it'll be there in 24 hours. It'll be there waiting for you. Hell, it won't go away for 13 years. You can't get rid of it. Yeah, you gotta love the humanness getting in the way. So now let's skip ahead to 4. Oh, the vision is also inspiration, to be in spirit, inspired download, raw energy. Okay, planning. So this one is specifically for healers because we do like to fly by the seat of our pants so much. The plan, again, it kind of aligns with what I said with number 1 about being detached. Having a plan gives us some kind of bearing as to whether we're going forward or backwards. When we don't have a plan, we don't really know what direction we're going. We're back in the ocean instead of the river. Do I need to plan every single detail out? No. When I plan something, is spirit probably going to throw me a couple of curveballs? Absolutely. I don't know any plan that's ever gone 100% to plan. Can I be flexible? That's what it comes down to. If you're not good at planning, hire a coach or get a buddy in that is good at planning. Maybe you're better at executing. I loved executing, but I'm better at planning because I'm kind of like a general and this is the field, right? This is the war in front of me and there's my soldiers. That's where my mind works really well. It's when I'm in the execution, it's when I'm in the doing is when I tend to get a little bit scrambled. As a projector, it's 100% in my human design. What do we got next? Oh, haha. Cross the finish line. Finish what you start. How many unfinished projects do we have in the garage right now? How many unwritten books do we have? How many unwritten courses? How many retreats, ideas, groups, things that we've got half the work done, but then didn't finish because we got distracted or tired or bored, are just laying dormant? That could be out serving people right now. Cross the finish line. As somebody who utilizes the ADD gift, I do not say that I suffer from it's not a disorder. ADD is an absolute gift because it allows me to do this, talk to you, and I could be clearing my chakras with my other brain, is what I call it, at the same time. So as somebody who has that gift and also has to harness that energy, sometimes finishing things is really hard for me. You guys have probably seen me launch things, and then they come apart, and then I put them back together again. And the only reason I can do that confidently is that I'm okay with the trial and the error. I'm okay with what people call failing and then learning from it and then coming back with a new version of it. Not everybody is. For some, we have that and then we get discouraged. Discouragement is totally normal. It's totally natural. I just simply urge you to pause, lick your wounds, dust yourself off, and then get back to it. Cross the finish line. Maybe it's baby steps today. Maybe it's leaps and bounds tomorrow. Who knows? But when we quit, that is the only true time that we fail, is when we give up. When we realize there's really nothing out there. There's nobody banging on my door trying to stop me from doing this Facebook Live. There's nobody in your life that has like a flaming spear to your chest saying, you better not launch that course. There's really no physical domain out there that is trying to stop me. It's this thing, right? It's the imposter syndrome. It's the ego. It's the I'm not good enough talk. I've taken too much time. No, it's okay to pause. It's okay to take baby steps, cross the finish line, and reward yourself. I've been waiting to cross this finish line for 13 years. So how's that for an example? Drink of water. I miss my glass bottles. Okay. That's 4 keys. And I hope those brought you some insights, maybe some breakthroughs. If you have questions, reach out to me, ask them right here on the live. Even if this is the recorded version, hit me up on Messenger. So what's next? We will be going through all 14 as a group together. I will do the first presentation next Thursday, July 29th. We'll go through all of these together as a group. The orientation, June 29th, 2 + 9, 1 and 1, 2. So June 29th at 7 p.m. next Thursday is when I will begin this first class. The following Thursday, July 6th, will be the group orientation. And then every week after that, so if you can chime in and just listen because you're with your kids or you're in a meeting, great. If you can't be to them, watch the recorded version. I'll do some audio versions of this. I'll have a PDF that you can actually follow, like a template. And I have guided meditations, because if we're supposed to go through this thing from a space of love, how do we get back into a space of love when we get knocked down and kicked around and get back up again? So I will actually help as much as I can with staying in a high vibration. Also, if you've already taken my Soul Root Alchemy class, it plugs into this perfectly. If you ever find yourself in an emotional space, it will help you shift. I won't get too deep into all the details and benefits and features and stuff because it's on the Facebook event page. I'll put a link to that under this. It's also on my website. So if you go to the website, you go to shamanzo.com right now. I've already loaded the link to the course on my front page. And if you use in all lowercase sacred 222, all one word, all lowercase, it'll give you 50% off for the next 2 days. So I hope I can share this, or I hope I can explain this clearly. Now, if for some reason you want to join in the middle of July or the middle of August, it's okay, because this is going to be a weekly support group thing. We need support. We deserve to have a community that is moving forward, that is having similar struggles, or maybe you have a strength in one area and somebody has a weakness and you can offer them some wisdom, and vice versa. I was told right away when I got this download about this course that this had to be a group effort. Organization, not control, organization. So the group in itself is going to be a tool. I will encourage you to ask for support from your angels, from your ancestors, from your higher self, from me, from your peers. I wrote today that the journey reveals. So even though this is a very masculine, straightforward, I mean, I shared 4 of these. These are pretty rudimentary, right? This is very straightforward, based in truth. It's not rocket science. It's brilliant the way Metatron put them together, but it's not rocket science. It's meant to just mechanically move you through your journey. What a journey will do, that I've experienced on many occasions, is it will reveal parts of you. It will reveal your strengths. It will reveal your weaknesses. Parts of us will show up. And what's great is that that's what we're here to do, is to unearth those things and figure out what's in our way. Which door is locked? Why? Which key don't I have? And then when you put them together, all the doors open up. So like I said, you can jump into the group at any time the rest of the year. However, I'm only doing the promo for the next 2 days on my website. So use if you want to take advantage of it right now, use that coupon code SACRED222 and put it in before you check out. Let me know if it works. It should work. There's no reason it shouldn't, but technology likes to do what it likes to do. And all the information is there. So, and I encourage you to bring a friend. If you are like, you're getting this feeling, you're getting this burning in your heart and saying, okay, I'm about to do this. I'm about to unstick myself. I'm about to level up. I'm about to break through some stuff. I would really like a buddy. Bring in a friend, talk to me about it. I'll offer you guys a couples or partners discount on that, buddy discount. And that's pretty much it. We've been going for a little while now, and I hope you enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. It's free education, so I think that's one of the best things that we can offer to our community is wisdom and knowledge and experience. And we live in this information age where it's all over. We have so much available to us, but where is the clarity? Who's connecting the dots, right? Metatron's doing it. I'm just the messenger. I love this tool because it's not mine. I digested it. I'm delivering it, but it's so elegant that it has to be angelic. It has to come from another place. It's so well put together that it's got to come from another world. A strange being gave a strange man some strange information, and here we are. So last but not least, the code works. The code works, baby. Yeah, thank you for saying that. It abides by nature. It's a nature-made creation. It's not a man-made creation. That's why it works. It's divine organization. This is a motor. It is the mechanical tool. This is a piece, right? This is an instrument. Does a motor run without fuel? No. Your passion is the fuel. Right? Your emotion, your love, that's the fuel. Then you bring in the guidance of Archangel Metatron. Then you bring in Shaman Zoe to back you up. Then you bring in the community. Then you bring in your ancestors, your guides, your tools, your higher self. Now you have nitrous oxide. You have the physical, non-physical, logical, spiritual, nested all in one, all abiding by the laws of nature. I'm getting all tingly inside. I hope this resonates with you guys. All I ask is you sit with this. I'm not going to try to convince anybody. It's your journey. It's your journey, and your heart and your body will know, and maybe you'll be lucky and you get 17 confirmations that I needed to become, to get brave enough and get activated and do this. I'm going to send you guys off with love. Again, thank you, guides, guardians, angels, ancestors of the East, the South, the West, and the North, Father Sky, Mother Earth, and the beautiful, powerful soul that resides within my heart. Thanks for showing up, guys. I love you. Peace out.